everybody, and welcome to From the Sidelines. I'm your host, Monique, joined today by CJ and Cody below me, and we are here to talk about week 3 recap of all of the 1 p.m. and 4:25 p.m. Eastern games, and then we're going to talk about our prediction for the Sunday night primetime game, which is obviously the Chiefs versus the Giants. This is From the Sidelines. We are live on Sundays on YouTube, Facebook, and X at 8 p.m. Eastern. And usually we have all 5 of us here, but today it's just the 3 of us. And that's okay because we have a lot to say. We have a lot to talk about in terms of teams that dominated today and as well as teams that came back, upsets, and then very, very, very close games. So I'm going to leave it to you guys. CJ, Cody, do you guys want to talk about the upsets and the close games, or do you want to talk about the dominant wins first?
Let's talk about the boring stuff. Let's talk about the dominant.
I knew that was going to happen.
I was going to go the opposite way, but I'm good. I'm good. We'll talk about the dominant wins.
Okay, so we have a little bit of controversy here. It's 2 against 1, Cody, because I want to talk about the boring stuff first. Let's get it out of the way, and let's talk about first. You guys can't see because I have like this green screen behind me, but I'm wearing a Panthers hat. And that's the first team that I want to talk about. I want to talk about the Carolina Panthers versus the Atlanta Falcons. 30-0 is a disrespectful score, in my opinion. Like, we kind of talked about this before the show actually started, but it shouldn't be that high of a game, and it shouldn't be not having any score to contend with, right? So let's talk about it. CJ, what do you think about the game? Any highlights for you? What do you think went wrong for the Falcons?
I think what's wrong with, again, one of the things I think that we have to realize is that division games are really tough. So you're hired to make sure that you win in division, right? And the way the Carolina Panthers started, it was a gut check. And then they lost one of their starting guards last week as well. And not really good performances. But Michael Penix, who I thought has been playing pretty solidly the past couple of weeks. Obviously, that loss to the Bucs really sucked due to, their kicker just not being clutch and their receiver not being able to turn his head, and had a perfectly thrown ball to him by Michael Penix. Not the best day for Michael Penix today, throwing 2 picks and one of them to the house. So obviously the DBs for the Carolina Panthers actually shutting down the Falcons. Who would have thought that, right? But it's a division game, so it's a rivalry. I think we should expect that to be the case, like, especially when the, Falcons play the Saints, like they're going to play them tough. And it just depends on if they can make enough plays throughout the game. And obviously, the Falcons didn't do that. Michael Penix gets benched today. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of rumors swirling this week, over the next couple weeks, about the future of Kirk Cousins, especially with the Cincinnati Bengals. And we'll probably talk about them a little later. But, yeah, I'm not too surprised.
Yeah, Cody, what do you think about the game? What do you think went wrong for the Falcons and what went right for the Panthers?
Yeah, I'm with CJ. I was more surprised than he was, to be honest. Division games, especially division road games, are always going to be tough. So it's like you can't just chalk those up as a victory, even if you're playing the worst team in your division. But yeah, if nothing went right for the Falcons today, like nothing at all, really. Penix was decent at best, but yeah, the 2 interceptions, a pick 6, basically put that game on ice, even though it was really never in doubt since like the second quarter. But yeah, everything went right. Mostly everything went right on defense for the Carolina Panthers. They shut down who I thought's a pretty good receiving group for Atlanta. Bijan didn't really get off too much, and that's huge there because he kind of is the catalyst of that offense. And Bryce Young was just all right. He didn't make any mistakes, which has been kind of his thing. He's, averaged at least 1 interception most of his games, so he didn't make any mistakes. He let the other team make mistakes. And so, yeah, I think that was more surprising to me, was just the Panthers. Just usually they're the team on the other side. They're the team that's making all the mistakes, and then it just kind of snowballs on them, and they're down 3-4 touchdowns. Well, now they're on the other side today, and I think that they handled it really well. I don't know how much they can take from this game. Like if this is going to be how they go throughout the season, but still a really good win, division win. And outside of the Bucks, everybody else is either 1-2 or 0-3 in that division. So if you, I feel like the Panthers, like you can compete in that division, maybe outside of Tampa Bay.
I agree. I just thought it was really surprising because I knew the Falcons weren't going to be one of the best teams, but at the same time, I thought that the Panthers, like you said, they're just a team that makes a lot of mistakes. I really wish Jackson was here because like that's his team.
Yeah.
I wish he
Mhm.
could comment on that. I did put that in our chat. I was like, dude, that was a crazy game. Like it was so dominant. And he was like, yeah, no, that was a crazy win. So shout outs to our co-host Jackson for a win for his team.
I'll
But it
say
shouldn't be
one thing
that bad. Yeah, sorry.
about the
CJ?
Panthers
Mm-hmm.
is like Bryce may not be the best, but his receiving core has been letting him down to start the year. And Xavier Leggett is a big pile of boo-boo. Like, dude has not been
Big
good
time.
whatsoever, and is getting. And what kind of really sucked is Jalen Coker, I think, would have been his safety blanket after obviously trading away Adam Thielen. But he gets hurt in practice just before the first game, and is going to be out for at least the first 4 games, which is unfortunate for them. And then now they're losing one of their essential guards, Robert Hunt, for the year. So like that's going to be tough. But I think they have to establish their running game again and get Chuba Hubbard going to be able to like really ease the passing attack, especially when you're not really getting a lot of production from your main guy. Obviously, Tedderome and Millen has been playing really well, but you need someone else outside of him in order to make some plays, and that's just unfortunate right now. But hopefully this could be the spark for the Carolina Panthers. You just need that one good victory, a 30-0 victory at home. That could really start the momentum to their Super Bowl push.
I thought Rico Dowdle looked pretty good today too, running the ball. I thought he had some good carries. So maybe you can get a little bit 1-2 with him and Hubbard, take some pressure off. And then, yeah, I think T-Mac's your number one, but
easily,
gosh, it's real thin. It's real thin behind that. Like I think last week they were throwing to Hunter Renfrow a ton and they cut him to start the season. And then all of a sudden he's getting catches in your second game.
They re-signed
him. Josh is here. Sorry, CJ, keep going.
I think once Coker gets back, though, I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, I think so too. But Leggett, I mean, you almost gotta call him a bust at this point. Use your first round pick last year. Yeah, I know it's early in his second year, but
he's already 25.
I know he was an older rookie. That's true.
And then what's worse is you traded up into the first round where you could have stayed and got Keon Coleman. You could got Lad McConkey. Like there was other receivers there that was like, come on.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's looking real bad for him.
Okay, guys, Josh just joined our show. Welcome to the show, Josh. We are talking about the Panthers' dominant victory. Like I said, I wish Jackson was here against the Falcons. Before we jump into something that you really, really want to talk about in this show, aka Hit 10 what did you think about the Panthers game? What went wrong for the Falcons and what went right for the Panthers?
Also, it's kind of locked and watching the certain team up in Minnesota. But when I was getting updates and whatnot, I was heard a former Minnesota alliance that plays for the Falcons got to suit up again because the Mr. Penix wasn't playing so hot. I was like, what?
Yeah.
So everybody that was here earlier was telling them like, oh, 18's back in? Okay, then. So that's rough because, Penix was looking pretty okay when he was playing against this Minnesota team last week. But then, coming in today, I'm like, Atlanta should be able to put up because I think I actually thought that the team picks I would do on my own with other people is that I thought they would win today. Let alone I didn't think they would get blown all 30 rip. That is crazy to get shut out in the NFL. Like, at least get a field goal. At least you'll see teams will get that or struggle to, put up points.
0 for 2.
That's crazy.
The new kicker too. He already cut 2. Yeah.
So like you figure like if it'd be a low scoring game like the Packers and Browns game. Something like that kind of scoring. I wouldn't have been surprised. We have a 30 rip. Did not see that.
Okay, guys. Oh, sorry, CJ, keep going. Yeah.
Falcons receivers are really not that good outside of Drake London. So they need to find like a wide receiver too outside of Pitts to step up and, be that catalyst. And maybe they should be looking at the wide receiver market because there is a rumor that DJ Moore could be on the trading block right now.
AJ Brown was before today. Call up Philly. See what's up. I don't think it happened, but it's worth a call.
Not with that new contract he just signed this offseason.
Nah, true.
Okay, guys, we got to move on because we got a lot more games to talk about. Let's talk about something that Josh wants to talk about. It's his hometown team, the Minnesota Vikings versus the Cincinnati Bengals. We have a 48-10 score. Josh, kick it off for us, man.
Let me tell you, the whiplash that we all had to deal with going from last week into today is crazy. Think about it. Last week, another primetime game, crazy loss to the Falcons. And then speaking of hometown team, you have Carson Wentz come back into the picture for his hometown team to lead the brigade to that crazy lopsided score. As much as I'm a Minnesota Viking fan, other side as well, I don't think no one would predict a 48-10 W. Isaiah Rodgers setting NFL history records with 2 touchdowns today. I'm like, people some people who were here were like asking who is that. I'm like, well, you're about to find out today. He's about to be a household name. Dude was going off because I wasn't sure how we were going to apply pressure, but getting key pieces back, which I think would have probably benefited McCarthy past 2 weeks, like AKA Darisaw being like one of arguably the top 5 left tackle. Some position to help give him that time to throw the ball and not be so finicky and kind of fidgety, panicking while he's in the pocket. And feel like he has to always run or make a read too fast, too quick. But Aaron Jones being out, but yeah, shoot, Mason going off for a couple of touchdowns and over a buck on top of that. And Hawkins finally got to see the end zone. Just everything was clicking like crazy today. No one thought that would come in. I get Burrow was out, but our starting dude was out. Wentz has been with us for a few weeks or so, and he's like wheeling and dealing and keeping his composure. So we are feeling real good up here.
Okay, Cody, what did you think of this game?
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect from this game going into it. 2 backup quarterbacks. And so I thought it'd be a weird game to begin with, but I think Brian Flores just saw Jake Browning on the other side of the field and was just like, this is easy money. Just get after Jake Browning, make him make mistakes. And that's kind of what happened is the Vikings defense was just all over Browning from the beginning, just getting after him all the time. And I think you guys found your running back. I like Aaron Jones, but Jordan Mason, I think, to your future running back. Like, I think he's just the better overall player, and he's just healthier. Aaron Jones always misses like 2-3 games a season, it seems like.
Yo.
And shout out to Carson Wentz. That's awesome. Great kind of little comeback there. His hometown team, and he played well enough. Like, he didn't have to do too much because the defense and the run game was just kind of doing their thing. But yeah, Hawkinson finally got some action. I needed that for one of my fantasy teams. He hasn't done squat until this week, so that was nice. But yeah, that was a great win for Minnesota. You're 2-1. The Packers lose, so and the Lions have already lost, so you're right in the thick of it in that division. So real good way to bounce back after that Sunday night game. And then on the other side, Cincinnati, like it looks bad. Like Joe Burrow's out 3 months. Are you making a call to Atlanta? You're trying to get Kirk Cousins in the building? Like, what's
crazy?
Like, because I don't know. I don't know if with Jake Browning, I don't know if you can kind of weather the storm for 3 months without Joe Burrow with Jake Browning at this point.
Yeah. Okay, CJ. Last but not least, what did you think of this game?
I thought that Brian Flores was licking his chops before this game, decided to get after Jake Browning. But Isaiah Rodgers out here is making generational money. He's trying to get a bag this offseason. I don't know if it was a trade. I think it was a trade this offseason that you guys traded him from the Eagles. So that's definitely working out for you. And also another person you acquired, Jordan Mason. So 2 pretty beneficial acquisitions you guys made this offseason, made a big impact for you guys today. And we shall see. I think Carson Wentz has a chance to hold on to the starting job for the whole year because I think JJ McCarthy doesn't understand. I don't think he has the use of his left eye because he can't really look left much. So we shall see how that develops and we go throughout the season.
Okay, guys. Okay, this is gonna be my last dominant win. I didn't think this was actually that boring, CJ. This was actually, especially when Josh came on and we all kind of just started talking about like why these games were so dominant and like what clicked and what didn't for each team. I don't know. I don't think it was that boring. But this game was probably my least favorite. And I'm talking about the Chicago Bears versus the Dallas Cowboys, 31-14. Like I don't know what to say about this game because like I honestly number one I didn't pay attention. Number two, I did have a friend that was or is a Cowboys fan that literally said just take the whole team away and keep Aubrey. That's what he kind of said. So I'm gonna start with CJ first. CJ, what do you think about this game? What worked for the Bears for some reason and not the Cowboys? Yeah,
that's a great question. Roma Dunze worked for the Bears. Luther Burden finally getting out of purgatory, out of Ben Johnson's purgatory since training camp. DJ Moore also got on the scoreboard as well. So the wide receiver core, it was really playing well today. I thought Caleb was sensational. He's getting better and better. Thank goodness for my fantasy team.
Right.
And yeah, the offense looked good and the defense was making plays. Obviously, CD Lamb Chop's getting really, I mean, I don't know how bad his ankle's going to be. It didn't look good when I saw him on broadcast. Pretty swollen. And he's very lucky that it didn't snap in two because the way it was bent, perpendicular when he was running was not the best. So, yeah, I don't know. It was like back and forth. I think the Cowboys' offense is suitable. Trayvon Diggs is not good. He is completely cooked. His son told him best, bro, you're trash. And I agree because he got absolutely embarrassed on that touchdown from Roman Dunze. He tried to jam him at the line of scrimmage and slipped. How unathletic of you. And the Bears got a big victory. They've been playing well, but there's been some issues. But they're fighting through the growing pains of Ben Johnson, and again, they're in the thick of it still. And we shall see what happens.
Okay. Cody, what did you think of this game? Are you like with me? Because like for some reason I didn't find this game very entertaining at all. And I am I surprised that the Bears won a little bit? Maybe because it's the Bears, but I don't know. What do you think of this game?
No, I actually watched a lot of this game because it was on the local Fox here.
Okay.
So I think it's going to be going through the season. Like if your offense is struggling, if your quarterback's kind of up and down, just wait till you play the Cowboys because then you can get back on track because that defense is bad. That defense is really bad. Trayvon Diggs, I don't know what happened to him. Like he's awful. Like he used to be a number one corner. And he got torched by Adunze, Burden. He got torched by the entire receiving core of the Bears at this point. So it was bad. And then they have, I mean, obviously without Micah, they have zero pass rush. So, I mean, Caleb could have tied his shoes back there and then thrown the football. Like it was like there was nothing going on there. So I think Ben Johnson and Caleb and the offense look good today. I don't want to overreact too much because I do think the Cowboys defense is bad. But growing pains are still kind of happening. I think they'll be better and better as the season goes on. I think they're still probably a year or two away from really contending for anything as a team.
The Bears or the Cowboys?
The Bears.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys
No.
from contending for anything. But yeah, I mean, like CJ said, the Cowboys offense, you lose CD Lamb on the second drive, that's going to kill you because he's your offense at this point, him and Dak. So that really hurt them. And Javonte Williams fumbles on their first drive when they were going down the field and moving the ball. So that really hurt them as well. But I think the Cowboys offense will be fine, but they got to put up 40 a week to keep up with that defense. That's just bad. So I think that's kind of my overall takeaway from this game. Bears were better, but I'm not going to overreact too much because I think that defense Cowboys is just that bad.
Yeah. So Cody, what you're saying is not necessarily that the Bears team performed like very, very stellar, even though like CJ kind of said they looked really good, but maybe it's more so that the Dallas Cowboys, their defense is just like total trash right now.
Yeah. Like 60-40. I'll give the Bears 60
60-40.
and then
Okay.
the Cowboys defense 40. But yeah, I think it's a little bit of both.
Okay, and Josh, what did you think about the Bears versus the Cowboys game?
Coming off the high, watching the Vikings game, I'm like, you know what? Should be some good football here. I kind of thought it would have been a little more competitive. Kind of what y'all brought up of the running backs fumbling the ball, and you got CD getting his ankle all jacked up, and he tried to come in 10 pounds of tape on his ankle later, try to run a route, and he was not about it. You saw him hobble the sideline like, "No, dude, I'm done for." Which kind of unfortunate. So I mean, obviously, hopefully he rests up and gets better. Obviously, for humane standpoint, but a little less humane standpoint, selfishly, kind of worked out for anybody who, like myself, has Ferguson for a tight end, racking up 13 catches to try to help save the day, but it wasn't enough. And Dak throwing off the back planter's foot, and they try to get a touchdown. He's kind of just like, hope for the best. Pop Warner throw and got picked off. And then it kind of ruined the chances there instead of live to see another down. I remember it was probably fourth down. I don't remember exactly, but it was just a dumb throw regardless. And they put the new blood back in, and then he kind of started a nice spark. I'm like, okay, let's see how this goes. I'm like, I know y'all down a couple scores, but thought he might do something. Then he goes to turn the ball over. I'm like, and then he got Pickens over here, balls bouncing off of his hands like backboard and basketball. So I'm like, y'all just ain't trying to win today and making the whole Bears team look elite. But that's the game of football. It can be anybody's game.
Exactly. Okay, guys. This is the time where we talk about the very, very, very close games, the comebacks, and the upsets of today, of Sunday football games. This was my favorite, guys. Actually, no, I lied. This is my second favorite game to talk about today. Let's talk about the Philadelphia Eagles versus the LA Rams, 33-26. Oh my God, that ending was nail biting. It was literally like if you're watching a movie and you want to know exactly what was happening, that climax. Oh my God, it was literally spectacular. I can't. I'm like so speechless. I don't even have anything to say about it. I just remember seeing what happened. I was like, no freaking way. So I'm gonna go to Josh. Josh, what did you think about that game? You were talking about really good football. That, my friend, is really good football from the Philadelphia Eagles.
Despite me having a gigantic poster of Saquon Barkley, from the Madden cover, I was able to score from a video game store. I was hoping that him and the team would. Okay, maybe him would play good because selfishly, again, I got him for fantasy. But outside of that, I hate the Eagles with a bloody passion. I say it like 10 times before. I'll stand on that again. So I saw the Rams were doing pretty good. I was getting updates. I'm like, okay, sweet. And then Hurts, him getting annihilated. And I'm like, okay, this ain't the Eagles game, which is okay with me. And then hearing / seeing, the Rams trying to get a game-winning field goal, that sucker get blocked and returned to the house to finish the game's absolutely crazy. I think last time I saw that, something to do with the Ravens. I think they might have needed some Browns a while back or something like that. I was like, hey, way to finish that. When you're a field goal, at the very least, you might think you might miss it. Like, oh, shoot, that sucks. No, better luck next time for us. But to get blocked and brought back, just the icing on the cake, cherry on top, to really put a dagger on, I'd be livid if I was a Rams fan base and whatnot. So Eagles 3-0. Unfortunate, but here we are.
Yeah, I was gonna say, guys, I don't know about you, but ever since like the last Super Bowl, the Eagles have been one of my favorite teams. Sorry, Josh, but I don't know, man. It's just like seeing them kind of shut down the Chiefs, and we'll talk about the Chiefs a little bit later, and we'll talk about who they're facing and if we think they're gonna win. I just think the Eagles are just phenomenal, and so I love seeing games like this. Cody, what did you think of that game?
Yeah, I think if you're the Rams, like you're feeling terrible right now. They were up 26-7 in this game. Like I thought it was a wrap. I thought they were going to run away with this game, and then they kind of just, I don't know, just missed opportunities. I think they got another kick block earlier in the game. That was their second kick block, I believe. So yeah, just missed cues, miss opportunities to kind of put this game away. And I mean, kudos to the Eagles. You come back, you finally get AJ Brown. He comes back from like the witness protection program, basically, and he's started getting some catch and shit. So like that was good for them. They finally got him going a little bit, but I feel like the Rams. But hey, I had Eagles -3.5, so that run back on the kick, I hit that, so that was nice. Because I thought that was dead in the water when they were going for a kick. I was like, okay, they're either going to lose the game or I'm going to hit this. But yeah, I think if you're the Rams, you feel awful right now. Like you had that game at hand. You're on the road against the defending champs, the team that knocked you out of the playoffs last year. That was kind of your way. Packers already lost. That was ready to kind of take over the NFC for the short time. Like, hey, maybe the Rams are the team to beat. But now you just kind of squandered it. And now everybody's going to probably slurp the Eagles again for more weeks because they came back and won that game.
CJ, talk about really, really great performances. This was amazing what happened at the end of the Eagles game. CJ, what did you think of the game?
I thought that my former Georgia alum, Jordan Davis, was looking very fast. I need to see what speed he got up on that touchdown run. Probably at least 25 miles because Buddy was moving. Probably maybe close to 19. But yeah, it was impressive. Eagles stay in the fight. Jalen Hurts doesn't emote whatsoever. But the greatest thing is for A.J. Brown is the fact that he went up against Emmanuel Forbes Jr., former commander, because every time he goes against him, it's barbecue chicken. And that's exactly what happened today, and I benefited greatly from it by parlaying 100 yards receiving and a touchdown, and that cash pretty handsomely. So it was good. Obviously, the Eagles still have a lot of flaws. I think, I think the Eagles are very susceptible to a team that is actually good on both sides of the football. So we shall see. Like I want to see, how they play against the Eagles or the Packers. I want to see them against other top teams. So we shall see. Like obviously, but the Eagles are 3-0, and they won, and they did what they had to do at the end of the game. And tough for the Rams. I think the Rams are a really good team, but they're young on the defensive side of the ball. They're a little susceptible to some things. But I think we could see this rematch down the road and possibly a different result.
Okay, guys, speaking of the Packers, let's talk about my favorite game to talk about tonight, which is the Cleveland Browns coming back versus the Green Bay Packers, 13-10. Very close game. But man, was it a great end. Yeah.
Not today.
Not exactly. I almost wore my Packers jersey, and I was like, nope, I am not doing that. Not in front of Josh. That's not happening. I have A-Rod's jersey. Yeah.
At least it was a respectable one, but yeah.
Not to Josh, but to everybody else, sure. Yeah. Okay, guys, let's talk about this game real quick. It was another one of those, like, something happened right at the end, and then, like, bam, the whole game just, like, changed, and then it just went to the Browns for some reason. Okay, let's talk about it. CJ, what did you think about this game, and what did you think happened, and why did it work for the Browns at the end?
You shouldn't have let Quinshon Judkins back, man. Like this team is channeling all of the longest yards, energy, and aura, and to fielding a team, a field of dreams, right? Like it's very interesting. Obviously, they did just enough. They pretty much shut down that offense for the Packers, which, I mean, we know that the Browns are a really good defensive team. It just depends on what offense are we going to get. And now that Judkins is back, they have two really good young running backs. And I think that's exciting. I like Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, Jeremiah Thrash, and then Harold Fannin, who's like showing up, and even then they still got
Njoku.
Thank you. So like they have weapons, they have talent. Obviously, you have a very old quarterback, and he can be serviceable every once in a while. He might need 2 weeks to be able to recover from this game. So maybe not expect the Browns to play well next week. But they did what they did. they did well. You know, they played well these past couple weeks, and they kind of got screwed out of the game. I think it was week 1 they got screwed out of a win. So I think this team is going to be in a lot of like one score games this year. It just depends on if that pendulum is going to like swing their way, and if it does more times than not, they could be in the playoff race now that the Bengals are pretty much obsolete, and Steelers, you don't know what old man Rodgers are going to get either. So, you know, it's possible.
Okay, I'm gonna switch gears. I'm gonna go to Josh first. Josh, what did you think of this game? Did you watch it? Did you tune in?
So I had it playing at our bar TV downstairs over here. But only reason why I even had it on because like supposedly I found out today my neighbors are also supposedly half Vikings fans, half Packer fans, so we jawed a little bit before I called it a night. But only why I even care remotely is because one of my 4 fantasy football leagues, like both my starting quarterbacks were out, so I had to go pick up like I'm like I get some Browns. I'm like they're okay, but not that great, and Packers been playing pretty serviceable in a way. So I'm like, I'll pick up Love. I kept thinking it was a glitch. I'm like, why is like there are no stats on my phone right now? I'm like, what is this? I'm like, ain't no way. And then I go over the TV and I'm like, oh yeah, that's accurate. But you know, I like Flacco or whatnot. But yeah, Flacco, we just try to hang on, like you said. It'll take him a few weeks to try to recover, hold his own. But you know, at the end of the day, I appreciated watching Packers lose. I will always love it with passion. I think another big factor in kind of why they lost, like the run game, they couldn't do nothing at all. By looking at the recaps of the game, looks like Love was getting sacked left and right, and then at the same time, where was Micah Parsons during all this? It seemed overall pretty quiet performance, whatnot. And if you would have been a little more active in the sack game and whatnot, like the Browns were, I think this game obviously could definitely been very different. But it wasn't, and I'm okay with that.
Okay, Cody. Last but not least, what did you think of this game? Were you excited as I was when those last few seconds happened?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a Packers hater, so I didn't. But it was still exciting to watch it because they get their kick blocked, and then the Browns go and get the kick to win the game. But I think the story is just the Browns defense, and the Browns defense seems good enough to maybe keep them in most games because that offense, outside of Judkins and I think Caleb Johnson, is not really going to do too much for them on the offensive side. But this defense, 5 sacks on Jordan Love. They held Josh Jacobs to 30 rush yards on 16 carries. So that's, basically less than 2 yards a carry. So, this defense is going to keep them in games. And, with the injury to Joe Burrow, and then if the Patriots aren't playing the Steelers every week and just handing Rodgers and the Steelers a game, then I don't think they're going to be as good. But so they could be alive in that division. It's still the Browns, so you can never really kind of get ahead of yourself thinking that they're going to do anything. But that defense is nasty. They get after it. They get after the quarterback, of course, Myles Garrett and other guys. And huge win. And I think that brings the Packers down to earth a little bit. Everybody was calling them like Super Bowl favorites. I was kind of on that train for a minute there as well. So maybe that brings them back down to earth and they can kind of figure some things out because there's still those Jordan Love games. Like every third game, he'll have one of these games where he's just not good. And that was this game today. And so he's still not consistent enough week in and week out. So he's going to have to fix that. And they still haven't found their number one receiver. It's still kind of just like, okay, well, who's going to get it this game? Like who's going to be the guy this game? So I think they're still searching on offense. Maybe the first 2 games were a little bit of fool's gold, a little bit. You get the Lions out in their first game without their coordinators, the Commanders on a short week, second week of the season. So maybe that's a little bit of fool's gold, and maybe the Packers aren't like the greatest team we've ever seen, like everybody's been talking about the last couple of weeks.
Okay,
I'm also a Packers hater because they injured Jaden Davis.
That's true. True that. Guys, let's talk about 2 more games and then let's give our predictions about Sunday Night Football's matchup, which hopefully we're on the same page. I would hope so. Probably not CJ. I'm kidding, CJ. We're just joking. But let's just talk about The LA Chargers versus the Denver Broncos. Okay, 23-20, literally off a field goal. Really, like it's like one of those, like, it's kind of like a walk-off home run. If you guys watch baseball, right? It kind of reminds me of that when I think about this game. Okay, Cody, I'm gonna switch gears and talk to you first. What did you think of this game? Did you even tune in? I know it just kind of like happened shortly before our show, so like maybe it's hard to like grasp all the highlights and stuff like that. What did you think of this game, and what did you think when you were watching it?
I kind of got what I was expecting in this game. Like we talked about earlier with the Panthers Falcons game, like these division games, especially like the Broncos and the Chargers, I feel like these two teams have played each other forever. So like they just know it's going to be tough games. It's going to be close games. They're going to be tough. These two teams know each other really well. But I think it's huge for the Chargers. You move to 3-0. And now the other two teams are 1-2, and then the Chiefs have a chance to go to 0-3. So you can really kind of take a commanding lead in that division. And you got 3 division wins too. You're 3-0 with 3 wins in the division. That's huge to start the season. Justin Herbert played. He was up and down all game, but he made the plays to end the game, which was huge. Quentin Johnston somehow found his hands this year and is making catches. So he's had a really good season. And so, like, I think they got the right stuff now. Najee Harris looks like he tore his Achilles on that play, so it looks like he's probably out for the year. But that could be a blessing in disguise. Now you can just give the ball to Hampton more. And he can kind of be your guy going forward. But I think huge win for the Chargers. I think right now they're kind of in the driver's seat in that division. Obviously a long way to go, but yeah, huge win for the Chargers and the Broncos 1-2. Tough back-to-back weeks. It'll be interesting to see how they go from here. Nick's kind of had another roughish game as well.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Hampton scored his first touchdown during this game, like his first NFL touchdown, right? So that was pretty cool to see. I think I had him. I'm not sure if I have him in my fantasy. I gotta look back and figure out that stuff. But let's talk to CJ next. CJ, what did you think about this game? Like I said, it's kind of like a walk-off home run if anybody watches baseball too. It was like storybook ending for the LA Charger fans.
Yeah, it's great when you have Dicker the kicker on your side. I think, he's been really clutch for them. And, it's so huge the fact that the Chargers are starting off 3-0 because of their 3 divisional wins. You're halfway there. Like, you only really need to win 2 more games to go to the playoffs now. And obviously 2 divisional games. And so the fact that they're undefeated in the division gives them such a huge leg up. And I think, obviously, with Khalil Mack getting hurt, it kind of sucks for them, so they're going to have to make sure they can find more pass rush. Hopefully he might be back later on this year, hopefully for them. But I think with the way this team is playing, I mean, they will probably be playing in anywhere and maybe making a deep run because this Chargers team looks good. There's still some, things they got to clean up, right? I think the Broncos are a very good team, and that defense is swarming. And obviously it's going to be, back and forth, and it was a close game. Like, I think that the division will be won by a new team this year for the first time in a decade, which would be great. Great for everybody because I think we want to see the kingdom come down. And, I think the Chargers are a really good team, and I think there's still a lot of room for improvement because we really haven't seen Hampton really kind of blossom. And who's going to take over that RB2 now that's going to be up? Maybe you see, was it Saki? I think it's their other running back they drafted last year. So we shall see. They still haven't had no production from a tight end as well this year. So can Quentin Johnston continue on can he be comeback player of the year for just being trash? Possibly. So the Chargers are a really exciting team. And I mean, we are on our way to having possibly a hardball AFC championship game.
Okay. Now, Josh, what did you think of this game? Very cool.
Like y'all brought up, division games, they will always be weird. They'll never be super concrete because they're always battling against each other every week in, week out. Thinking, okay, even though they're playing one team a certain day, they're always kind of thinking back in my like, So think about them and their tendencies a little bit. I know they said one thing on the press conference, but not so much. But yeah, the kicker, essentially put up about half their points Definitely helps out a lot. Herbert comes in clutch where he need to be and throwing 3 bills and a touchdown and get sacked 5 times, still get the job done, which is still pretty impressive. So I think he's kind of exactly what you expect of the game. Expect more from the Broncos and their defense to be, like y'all brought up, swarming, but I expect a little bit more of it. Sutton can only do so much. So, but it's what I expect in these kind of games.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna turn the tables a little bit and ask this question because I think this has always been coming up in conversation when we're talking about teams. Obviously, no team, in my opinion, is perfect yet. There's always room for improvement on any team, even if you're like the best team in the entire league. There's always room for improvement. But if you were to pick a team that was almost perfect, like literally maybe had only like one flaw or two on offense and defense, which team would that be and why? And I'm gonna put the spotlight on CJ first. CJ, do you understand my question, first of all?
I understand your question, and I'm gonna give you the greatest answer, even say the perfect answer. And I think this team is pretty flawless. And when you think they're going to waver, they don't, and they're undefeated, and no one's really talking about them. And they might have the greatest throwback jerseys out there. I'm talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think Baker Mayfield is right now in the top 5 for MVP race. He has a stud of a receiver in Emeka Ibuka who got robbed of a big catch at the end of the game, which would have been great for my fantasy team. Obviously Mike Evans going down is unfortunate, but obviously guess what? They got someone in the wings waiting to come back, and that's Chris Godwin. And then, Jalen McMillan, who had a really good connection last year with Baker, he gets the opportunity to get some more touches and some more target share. Boom. You got a plethora of good running backs with Bucky and Rashad White and Sean Tucker there. You got Vita Vea, and you got all these guys making plays for the Buccaneers on the defensive side of the ball. This team does not get talked a lot about, which I think could be good for them to fly under the radar until next thing you know they're in the NFC Championship game. But again, it's going to come down to them making a consistent enough plays, especially late on in the year. But Baker's been doing that. He's been leading these game-winning drives these past couple weeks, and it's showing that they are serious. And the fact that Baker is taking over the mantle for Tampa Tom right after him, after he won the Super Bowl, and everyone's so excited, and all these new Buccaneers fans. Well, Baker's here, and he's keeping the level pretty steady and even rising. Just enough. They could easily win this division and, march their way in the playoffs.
Okay, Cody, my question to you is, which team do you think right now is probably the closest to being perfect? Maybe only has 1 or 2 flaws for both offense and defense. Which team would you say that is?
I'm going to go with the team that didn't play today, and that's the Buffalo Bills. Obviously, you got Josh Allen at quarterback. That's always going to be huge. But now you got James Cook running for money. He's running for a bag. He's running for a contract. Like, he didn't get his money. So it's like he's trying to prove something as well. He played really well. I know it was Miami Thursday night, and that game was probably closer than they wanted it to be. But you're 3-0. You kind of snuck a win in week 1 in that Sunday night classic against Baltimore. So maybe you shouldn't have got that win, but you don't apologize for victories in the NFL. So I just think their defense, I still think, needs to come around a little bit. They've given up a lot of points in 2 out of their 3 games, so their defense needs to get better. But with Josh Allen playing like Josh Allen, and then James Cook running like he does, and now they're starting to get some rhythm with some of the younger guys, Shakir, Keon Coleman, Kincaid's had some nice games as well. And that division, and my team's in that division, and I know they're probably going to, the Bills will probably clinch that division before.
Our team is in that division.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they're behind. And yeah, like I said, the Bills will probably, and they could have that division clinched by Thanksgiving. Maybe it'll be a wrap probably pretty quickly. So I think the situation that the Bills are in, being in that division and then being 3-0 and winning that game against the Ravens, who is the team you're going to have to contend with in the AFC, of course, I think that's kind of a perfect start, not just in the record, but a perfect start for them as well.
Okay, and Josh, last but not least, do you have a team that you think is very, very close to perfect, if not perfect in your eyes?
I'm gonna ride with Corey on this one, saying the Bills. I never think they on all aspects of the ball. They're rolling. They are absolutely killing it. With ease. And like they're barely even trying. I mean, of course, trying and all, giving their best, but like it almost seems just too easy.
Mm-hmm.
Josh is great at passing the ball. You got Cooks wheeling and dealing, running that ball. Receivers, tight ends, not the greatest people in the world, but they're getting the job done. Almost look like kind of like what Brady had within New England. Nobody about outside Moss that 1 year was like top tier. Okay, I can't wait to watch this dude, but I'm tuning in, especially for this receiver. You ain't getting that. But Josh, he's getting the job done. Give him to whoever needs the ball and who is willing to get the ball and make the plays. That's all he cares about, much kind of like Tom Brady did. And the defense, they're doing what they got to do to shut teams down and give them the offense back the ball. Their kicker's pretty solid on top of that, too, despite their kicker being IR to start the season. So that coming in, still get the job done. So I think they got a good culture going on. I think they're ready to take this now that the Chiefs are, kind of wetting the bed a little bit. I think this could be the year that they get to the Super Bowl.
Okay, guys. Let's talk about one more team really, really quick before we give our predictions of the Sunday night game for tonight. Let's talk about the San Francisco 49ers versus the Arizona Cardinals. CJ, I'm going to come to you first because I know this stings a little bit. When it comes to the Cardinals losing 16-15. So, what do you think happened in this game? Or do you think it's a fluke? Do you think like something kind of like happened and then all of a sudden it went the 49ers way? What do you think?
I don't know. McCorkle Jones has been showing his worth pretty well as a backup quarterback, and even maybe trying to persuade Kyle Shanahan that, hey, maybe we made a mistake with, because obviously he wanted to draft McCorkle and early, so maybe he's, this is actually, maybe he thought that Brock Purdy is just like his McCorkle like substitute, and now he gets the real thing. But nonetheless, I mean, the Cardinals really beat themselves today. Marvin Harrison Jr. dropping wide open passes. I can understand why Kyler Murray probably doesn't like him. Great thing, Trey McBride did get a touchdown today for once. I mean, he's finally getting targeted, one of the top tight ends in the league, and never gets much targets in the red zone. It's kind of insane to me. But I just, Cardinals just made too many mistakes for themselves. They were in the game. They played well. Defense was abysmal in that last drive. And Mac Jones really he was Mac Daddy in that last drive, and he drove him all the way down the field. Easy field goal by Eddie Pinero, who just came in they just, cut Jake Moody, and now they got their team and they're winning games. And the division is going to be interesting, to say the least. Seattle was dominant today, but it was against New Orleans. I mean, but it was good. It was good for the 49ers because they're not really fully healthy and they have a really young defense. So the fact that they're able to win these games now and as they get experience throughout the year, that's going to be a dangerous sight. Can the Cardinals get out of their own way? I don't know if they can. And I think that they're going to have to blow it up after this year. I think they can clean house because you have an owner who's a little finicky and maybe wants to win. And possibly Gannon's gone, and possibly Kyler Murray's gone. I don't think Kyler Murray will want to stick around any longer. And there will be a pretty decent market for Kyler Murray. So.
Okay, Cody, you've been shaking your head this whole time that CJ has been ranting on about the Cardinals and their situation. What did you think about this game? What went wrong for the Cardinals, and why are you shaking your head so much?
Well, I mean, I was pretty much in agreement with CJ towards the end there. That's why I was shaking my head because I think the Cardinals. I didn't get too much time on this game because it was kind of an ugly game, to be honest. It wasn't wasn't the easiest game to watch, but the Cardinals basically lost this game. That drive at the end, they had a couple of chances to put away the game, and they didn't. And hats off to Mac Jones. I mean, I've seen the Mac Jones experience where he looks great one week and then he paid 2 years with the Patriots. He looks great one week and then the next week it's awful. Yeah, he's always going to have at least one pick. It's just like I feel like it's just inevitable that he'll throw one interception. But I mean, 2 weeks without Brock Purdy, your starter, and he wins both those games. So you can't ask for anything more from him than just to get victories because that's all you need. And now you're 3-0. That's a tough division. All the other teams in that division are 2-1. So it's going to be kind of a battle. I don't think there's any dominant team in that division. I thought the Rams would kind of be the dominant team, but they've looked kind of so-and-so, and they gave away a game today here against the Eagles like we talked about earlier. But back to the Cardinals, that's why I was shaking my head. I was agreeing with CJ at the end. I think that things are going to get changed here. If it continues to go this way, I think there will be. I don't think Jonathan Gannon should get fired or even be on a hot seat because I don't think any of this has been on him. I actually think he's been a better coach there than I thought he would be with the team that he's had. But the Cardinals, that's just what they do. They fire coaches, they fire players and trade players. That's just what they do. They're very kind of bipolar how they run their team. So I think this is probably the last year of Jonathan Gannon. And then I think the trade market for Kyler would be decent. So I could see them trading and kind of just blowing it up and see what they got. And my breakout player for this year was Marvin Harrison Jr. That does not look like that's the case this year. He seems to just not get open, not be involved, and then he drops balls. Like this guy was supposed to be like the greatest receiver coming out of college since like Randy Moss, basically, and he has not been anything near that. So especially out of those three guys that were drafted with him, like him, Neighbors, and Adunze, he's by far the third out of those three, like by a distant third. So that doesn't look good either. So if it continues like this for the Cardinals, I think things are going to change pretty quickly there. And I wouldn't be shocked if Gannon doesn't even survive the season because that's just what the Cardinals do.
Yep. Josh, do you agree with these two gentlemen? Do you think that things will change for Arizona, maybe after, if things keep continuing this way? Are we going to see trades? Are we going to see firings? And what did you think of this game? This is as close of a game as you can give it. Like, 1 point.
Yeah, I'll work our way backwards. So I definitely think if McCaffrey wasn't on this game, they would have not won. I just say like McCaffrey was doing McCaffrey things. I mean, dude was targeted 15 times, but got 10 catches for 88 yards. I mean, like that is crazy for anybody. But yep, not surprised. I've been saying it from the jump of the season. Like this dude, if you draft him, you're not going to regret it. And that shows time again. Yeah, we got Mac Jones still showing why he was, once originally a starter, and that's not shying away at all. Yeah, Kyler Murray, he's being a letdown, let's say that, after a handful of years ago, give or take. Dude was looking pretty solid, but never like taking his team to the next level and whatnot. Then them kind of resurfacing, like, dang, like, should we put in a contract to him to stop playing so many video games or however that sucker was? And then to start going into this week too, if I'm not mistaken, him trying to play homage to Michael Vick, wearing Michael Vick jersey while posing with his dogs. Like, my guy, read the room. So he might not all be there. Because from the end now, boy, he ain't carrying the team. And yeah, y'all brought up Marvin Harrison. Bro, that's not the way you are supposed to represent your dad. I'm like, you're over here skipping, trying to skip the workouts and whatnot, get work on getting drafted. Like, go ahead, big shot, cool. You don't need to prove yourself with the whole draft process. Sweet, God bless. Hope it works out. And it's not working out. Like, yeah, he's supposed to be a breakout dude. He's supposed to carry the team on his back. And he is not doing that at all. And it's unfortunate because overall, I think that Arizona Cardinals is a fairly solid organization. But they don't act like it though. Like you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make the horse drink the water. And that's what Arizona Cardinals refuse to drink this water year in, year out, and it shows with the record and the way they play the game, whatnot. I do think the changes need to be made. What they are, I don't know. Maybe just take on Kyle Murray over here next year. Why not? Because we just adopt all the quarterbacks for years. Minnesota Vikings rehab and then shift them off elsewhere and hope for the best. But yeah, I think change was to happen. I think it needs to happen. What will it look like? Time will tell.
Okay, guys. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Kyler to Miami next year. I'm calling it.
I like him to the Steelers. I like him to take over for Rodgers after Rodgers.
Yeah, that's not bad. Both of these are not bad. Love it. Okay, guys. we have about 5 minutes left. Let's talk about our pick for a Sunday night primetime game, Chiefs versus Giants. Both searching for the first NFL win of the season. I'm going to go first, and as much as I would love to see the Chiefs lose again, I don't think they're going to lose against the Giants. Just let's be honest. Well, I don't know, man. CJ might have a different answer. Josh and Cody might have a different answer. So I'm going to go to Josh first. Josh, who do you think is going to win tonight?
Giants, record says otherwise. I think overall the gameplay says otherwise to that. So I think they're nitty gritty. I think they just try the absolute best. They're balling as much as they possibly can, find tooth and nail. I think they'll win today.
Okay.
I think they're ready for it, and I think the spell, the curse that Taylor Swift and the Kansas City organization has put upon, I think is come to demise. I'm gonna enjoy that ride.
Okay, Cody, do you believe in that curse? Or are you gonna go and with the Chiefs on my turf?
Reluctantly, I'll go with the Chiefs. As much as I'm going to be rooting for the Giants, to be honest, and which is weird as a Patriots fan. I never thought I'd be rooting for the Giants.
I know, right?
Eli Manning, but that's a different thing. Get that out there. But either way, I'll be rooting for them to beat the Chiefs. It's already 3-0, so that's not really much going on so far. The Chiefs are up 3-0, but not really much. So, yeah, I think they get a victory. I think that team's just, even though they got a lot of injuries and issues going on, I think they're too good of a team and too well coached to go to 0-3. So, fortunately, I'll take the Chiefs.
Okay, so we got 2-1. CJ, are you gonna make it a tie effort? Are you gonna go with the Giants, or are you gonna go with the Chiefs tonight?
I'm going with the Giants. I think the Giants have a good opportunity to continue what they did last week. Obviously, in a losing effort, but obviously Russell has been under a lot of scrutiny, and he's definitely looking to try to keep hold off this dart that's on his back. And I think that he has a good opportunity to do that against this Chiefs team. I think that's very vulnerable. And I think this will be great for First Take and whatever sports show you watch in the morning. The Chiefs starting 0-3, and let's see what ridiculous headlines that ESPN will put out tomorrow. And I'm definitely here for that. Tyron Chasey just broke his arm, I believe. So that's not ideal. So Cam Scatterboop, time, buddy. It is your time.
Okay, so we are 2-2. We are tied. We have half of us going for the Chiefs, half of us going for the Giants. Not saying we want to, but I wish I wanted to roll with the Giants, but I just can't see it happening. So, guys, thank you for joining us on this edition of From the Sideline. This is Josh, CJ, Cody, and myself, Monique. And we will be here every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern to talk about the NFL week ahead, and all the games. We're going to recap from Sunday as well as Monday and Thursday. If there's any other games that are really, really great to talk about, we'll talk about those as well. But from now, we will say goodbye and have a good night.
God bless.
Put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey man, call your mother.
It means nothing. It means nothing.
Nah, they lying to you. It's about the money.
Now you're more fluent.